he probably still is a nice guy. He was just, his head was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, I would say, yeah, he was just going through bad things at the time, and when you're in that situation, it's, I don't know, your mind's capable of doing all sorts of things that you don't expect.
When did he first mention the bomb?
Probably about an hour into the conversation, because he was constantly watching it. We're about 7 foot away from us, and every nurse that walked past it, we were like looking at them, looking at the bomb. Well, looking at the bag, sorry. And then I asked him what were in it. Why is he so? If it's your bag, why ain't you got it near you? Do you know what I mean? And then he just come out with it. I said, what's in it? And he ummed and ahed. He was like, didn't want to, but then I got it out of him. He just said, it's just a bomb. And I was like, okay. Well, I could hear it in his voice that it was not like a joke or all that, but so then I asked him to have a look at it just to confirm it, and then he just happily opened it up and showed me it. I felt more scared, yeah, but it concerns them what to just try and get him away, or I mean, I wasn't gonna like shout and things like that, say there's a bomb here, because it would have been like nervous for others and it just caused havoc. So I just thought, is it best way to keep it quiet and just get him out of the way and be tactical about it, sort of thing. Probably in the wrong place myself. I just didn't, at the time I was going through mental health myself and didn't want to be here anyway, sort of thing, but I thought, well, if it's going to go off, it's going to go off. I'm going anyway, but if it goes off, it's just going to be me and him, and I'm going to make sure it's just me and him and not no one else. The plan so I asked him about the radius and if it went off. Well, at first I asked him what type of war was it, because he had his hand in his pocket playing about, and I said, what type is it? So he says, it's one I've got to light. So I thought, well, can't play without detonating it all because it's got to light it. Then I asked him radius a bit, and he pointed out in the area where we were, how far it'd go off and what it'd take out. So then it was like, so I like sort of sussed it out to like, my dad was my legs were hurting me, and obviously I was in hospital myself, and to move him out of the way where benches were, because if it had gone off, at least it just took doors out or something like that. It wouldn't have took the whole building out. He asked for a cuddle about a few times, and yeah, of course you can cuddle. I spoke about his family. He's got kids and that, and I'm like, well, you can step ahead of me because I can't have them, etc. But yeah, well, yeah, it was mental. It's just mind-boggling, but just normal, just normal. I mean, I don't judge anybody, like, but yeah, everybody different and unique in their own ways, aren't they? But yeah, I didn't judge him at all. I didn't have any impressions. I just generally thought that I'll go speak to him, see if he's alright. He said, come on, he said, well, before he said to call him, he said, right, can I have a hug? He says, you're top guy, so I'm really sorry. I said, right, okay. And he says, right, put please before I change my mind. And I got my phone out and it was dead. So I put mine on the bench. I'm like, can I be cheeky and borrow your phone? And he happily gave me it. Then I was just about to ring him and they had a pin on it. And then I was like, if I put this pin in, it's not going to set that off, which I already worked that. It had to be lit anyway, but you just have to confirm it in my own head, like, but yeah, then I asked him to put his own pin in, because we're relevant for me to know anyway. And then, yeah, I went for a place, which sort of a bit relieved, but end of the day, he could have still change his mind at any time, even if we were up front of the police or not. Could have still changed his mind at the time, but the woman on the phone asked me if he's got anything on him that alarmed myself, him, and the officers when they get there. So I asked him, and he just opened his coat and just pointed a gun at me for about 3 or 4 seconds. Then realised what he'd done, and then sort of grabbed it and turned it round and went to give me it, and I was like, I don't want to touch that, mate, put it on the bench. And well, I told the one that would end up phone that, I just pulled that out. There were a lot of things going on, so it was like, it didn't really all got to sink in till afterwards. When I was sat back at police phone, it was like, then it started sinking in, then it could have been, well, yeah, it could have been different. Emotions started coming in, it was like, wow, it's as if that's just happened. And then, well, I went back at police van with his phone, and I said to the officer, I said, look, I've still got his phone here. So then I give them the phone, and I said, could I have my phone back? And well, they kept that for a bit, didn't they? But it's just out of procedure, isn't it? He probably still is a nice guy. He was just, his head was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, I would say, yeah, he was just going through bad things at the time, and when you're in that situation, it's, I don't know, your mind's capable of doing all sorts of things that you don't expect. No, I'm just general public. Just the right place at the right time, I guess. Mm-hmm. I only think about that night if like someone brings it up, and then it's like, oh, it's crazy, it could have gone. Yeah, well, I was patient at the time, so I wouldn't be here, because I was at front of the building, so it took me out.